Okay, I'll quickly introduce Mr. Uke. I don't want to keep you waiting any long and want to hear from you now. So, Mr. Ujjwal Narayan Uke is an IAS officer presently working as the Principal Secretary of the Department of Women and Child Development. He is a graduate of St. Stephen's College and an MBA from IIM Ahmedabad. He has worked as a chief executive in several sectors from agro industries to state transport. Besides being the collector of Thane, he has a fondness and vast experience in social sectors, having worked as a CEO of slum rehabilitation and as commissioner ICDS. In his present assignment, he has brought out the state's third women's policy, the second child's policy, the Sukanya scheme, and the Manodharya scheme in the last 18 months. He has already embarked on revising the JJ rules and the Beggars Act. Along with heading the task force on anti trafficking, he is also the chairperson of the State Child Protection Commission. Welcome, sir. Please come and take over.
I must thank Mr. Rahul Bose and his team for having invited me here. In fact, when his team members came to see me, I said, I was reminded of a book by Agatha Christie, wherein the title was Why Didn't They Ask Evans? And I said, oh, thank goodness you come here, because during my tenure here in the last 18 months, I have been seeing that a lot of programs keep happening, a lot of discussions, and a lot of valuable advice, and things are generated, and many times it doesn't reach policymakers. So I was very happy that I was called here, and I made it a point. I issued a government order that my officers should come here and sit here for 2 days, because this is where, this is the place. Yeah. Otherwise, we are talking in different spheres. So anyway, yeah, I must say that the child policy is already been announced in the state, and CSA is something which is of great importance to the government, and we are taking a lot of keen interest in ameliorating the problem. In fact, along with FACSE, with Majlis, with a lot of activities are already underway. We had this workshop, and I can tell you that in government, I'll just give you a scale of operations. We are sitting in the city of Mumbai, so just for your information, I have access to every village in the state. I have 2 workers in every village in the state. That means I have 200,000, 2 lakh people. They are spread all over the state. Plus, I have people in the districts. I have people in every corner. If you look at the education department, every village has a school. There's a middle school, there's a high school, there are teachers. These are all agents of change. And whatever we talk here, whatever values and important things come out, to reach out to the community, there are many ways. A lot of media can be used, but don't forget the importance of somebody talked about the state transport. I was VCMD of the state transport way back. We are having 1 conductor and 1 driver in every bus. Every bus, there are 18,000 buses, and they're having so many trips. And every single bus, every single place, you sensitize the conductor. He's the guy on the spot. The teacher is the person on the spot. So I think government can offer a huge platform. It's a very large platform which we are very keen to offer, because what we have, I always say that government has the platform, but it's people like you who have the commitment. Government, I'll get transferred, I'll get retired, people keep coming in and out, somebody shifts out. Commitment is not there, but the resources and the platform is there. So if you can marry the two, that is where you really see success, because end of the day, we are looking at the nation, we are looking at the state, we are looking at people, we are looking at citizens of this nation. So to bring any kind of relief to them or to benefit them, we have to get together. You, the brains, you have the thoughts. You are people who are concerned. You have done so much of work. You have so much of study. Talking about POCSO, I can just tell you that Persis was here, and for 1 year, she was sitting in that court in Bombay, and she did a study on behalf of the State Child Commission, because the POCSO Act is also very unique in that there is one provision by which the State Child's Commission can monitor the working of the judiciary, the court. And using that, we did a study, and a confidential report was prepared. It has been handed over to the Honorable Chief Justice, and he expressed a lot of pleasure, and he said we'll see that important changes happen, and he has taken it very seriously. So these are the kind of things, we must get together and work together in this. And as far as my department is concerned, we have embarked a lot of activities. Like one of the things which he just mentioned in my introduction was the JJ Act, JJ rules, the rules applicable to the state of Maharashtra. We have a team of people working, and they are the last 6 months they have been going through every line, every sentence, that wherever over the period of time we've seen that the experience has shown that this is where the change is needed or things are not happening. That's where we are going into the amendment of the rules. And I can tell you that amendment of the act also is not a big deal. It's not a very difficult thing. It has to be, there is a procedure, yes, procedure is there, but I mean, that's what the secretaries are here for, right? We're supposed to follow the procedure and get it through. I need your inputs. You can, whatever good inputs come through, we'll see to it that the amendments take place. Whatever is you asked about the difference between the state and the center. Well, like POXO Act is applicable to the entire country, so it's a central act. But there are state acts also. A lot of activities happen in the state also. Like JJ rules, the act is a central act, but local state amendments can happen. We can have our own rules, and rules applicable to the state of Maharashtra. So it's not a very compartmentalized kind of a thing, but it all depends. Like if I have to shirk my responsibility, I'll simply say, oh, Kendra ka hai, udhar bhej do. It's very easy to say that, but you have to actually, you have to stand up and be counted, So if you have a state government which is interested in and willing to listen and willing to carry out the changes which you want, because society is dynamic and things have to change, and over a period of time, even the best of the acts, they get into some kind of a rut, and you find that people find a way around it. Otherwise, there won't be any thieves around, right? The thief always has to be one step ahead of the cop. Otherwise, he won't survive. So the law has to keep changing according, because if he speeds up a little bit faster, you have to have the law becoming, you have to tweak it a little to see that all that thing is also, every loophole has to be plugged. So since it's a dynamic situation, I think it's very important that these kind of meetings and workshops happen. And this is an area of great concern. And as somebody just pointed out, I'm sorry I don't know everybody's name here, so I just can't say that. But we tend to keep this hidden. It's our society is, some of the times I feel that we are like ostriches. We bury our head, and it hua hi nahi hai. So it never happened. So, and we tend to overlook things. Whatever makes us uncomfortable, we are not willing to go ahead and, like you have to plunge your hand in muck and clean it up. Otherwise, it doesn't happen. And we have this great, age-old caste system that only the muck has to be cleared only by certain people. Everybody can't do it. So, I mean, all that kind of thing. So it's also a case of your mindset. So, in fact, I must also tell you that. Talking about IAS officers and their sensitization, somebody had mentioned. I was in the Lal Bahadur Shastri Academy in Mussoorie this month, 2 weeks back, and they're taking up a whole. It was a 2-day workshop on making curriculum for the IAS officers. From the day they enter, that is the foundation course, phase 1, phase 2, phase 3, phase 4, phase 5, which I just attended. I've just completed my phase 5 because I'm on my way out, so I'll be retiring in 4 years. So every phase, what do the collectors need to know about child rights? What does a new entrant need to know about child rights? What does a person who is at the helm of affairs, who is at the principal secretary or the chief secretary level, what does he need to know about child rights? We have devised a curriculum for that, and 2 days we deliberated, and a whole lot of people. Persis was there, Flavia had come, and I think you were also there, and it's a starting point, no doubt, but it's happening. It's really happening. And about the JJ homes, yes, I feel that a lot needs to be done, and by a lot, I really mean a lot, because sometimes I feel very frustrated because people keep. I've grown up. I always prefer standing in the ration queues to just to get a feel. As I travel in buses and in trains also, just to get a feel of what a common man feels, just to be in tune with times. And that's what my father taught me. And I feel that everybody keeps complaining that government में policy scheme बहुत अच्छा होता है, implementation नहीं होता है. So that's where, when I was commissioner in ICDS, I used to spend 14 hours a day because we wanted to get things going, and that's why we had a successful malnutrition-free kind of a thing, which you had attended the MAM conference, which you mentioned. That was a result of the work which we did in 2005, 6, 7, because the results show only after 5, 6 years. It's a kind of a tree which gives you fruit when you're retired. So that's why people like to pick up the low-hanging fruits. But yes, the things do happen. And on the JJ homes, I must say that I'm not very happy with the implementation. I'm not very happy with the kind of people we have, because over a period of time, the system has allowed certain people to come and open homes and things like that happening. They are NGOs, and some of them are good, some of them are not so good. What I am trying to do is to use technology. What I said is, my friend from ICPS will agree that we have this thing called Track Child. It's a Government of India website, or the Ministry of Home Affairs and WCD. Track Child means that every child who goes missing, the police has to put it onto the website. And if you go to the Track Child website, you can, if you have a child who's lost, you can make a trace there. If it is a child who has been recovered, the data is put there. Different layers of administrative powers. All the data is not available to everybody, but you can definitely put it in saying that my child got lost. And the police is under, it's compulsory for them to enter the data. Now, this is what I'm trying to do, that I'm making all the childcare institutions in the state compulsorily become a member of that Track Child, because funding is in my hands. I'm not releasing the funds till they do the data entry. Every single child has to be tracked. It has to get in there. Those are things which I know I'm going to get abused by a lot of people for this, but I'm sorry. This is what we'll have to do. You need to get tough to make people work. Second is, of course, biometrics and things like that. So third is, we already have a thing called the DCPU, the District Child Protection Unit. I have last month signed a government order saying that every taluka will have the taluka level child protection unit, and after the elections are over, I'm issuing the order for the village level child protection unit. Now, the village level child protection unit actually goes down to a very base level. That's where we are getting in children, we are getting in NGOs, whoever may be working in that, people interested in this field. They will be part of this unit, and they will be the first point of contact, and they will be the vigilantes in the village or in the ward level in the municipal areas, who would be, and the other thing is to use the school education department to tell people that there is a child protection commission. This is the number. This is Childline's number. Simple things. This is what we are trying to do. Just after election, I'll be issuing the orders, because right now I'm constrained to inform the children that this is where you can go for your rights. And I'm sure we were talking about the district women and child officers workshop, which threw up these ideas that have a district level thing where the children can come and they can also contribute into it. So those GRs are already underway. But more than that, I need more and more ideas, because simply issuing an order is not enough. I have to see that they get implemented. So that's, although it's the job of the commissioner, but I feel that as a para-activist, I'm half a government officer and half an activist, because you might have known from my biodata that I come from a background. So I'm a fighter for the underprivileged. So I need to get these things off going. And well, I guess that's about it. I'm really happy that this is happening. And well, Maharashtra is way ahead, I must say that, because we have a set of competent and committed people, both in the government and the non-government sector. Mumbai, it's fortunate for the state to have Mumbai, because people like you are here. So I can pick on your brains. And please, I'm not shy of giving my numbers. Call me up. I'll give you my number. It's 98210-82820. I'll also write it down while going out. So SMS me. I may not pick up the phone because half the time I'm in meetings. It's very difficult. You might have seen somebody came, there was something I had to rush to the chief secretary. So if I'm in a meeting, I may not pick up your call, but I'll definitely SMS you back or I'll give you a call back. So be in touch with me and use the platform of government. That's all I can say, that we are really there for you. Okay, thank you very much. Yeah, questions?
How much time do you have, sir? Okay. Anybody has any questions? Yes, ma'am. Trevor?
Units, how are you recruiting people for that?
At the moment, what we are doing is the district DCPU has already been recruited. That was by the ICPS, that is a society, and it was a very transparent system which they had followed.
Okay.
And the DCP is already underway. Taluka, at the moment, because there's a code of conduct, we have only the officers on board. We are keeping 2 people who will be from the NGO sector, and that we are leaving to the collector. The district magistrate will, and the CEO. We have in Maharashtra the concept of the CEO of the Zilla Parishad. He is also an IS officer. First posting in the district is of a CEO, and then he becomes a collector. So we are leaving it to them, because they would be knowing in their district who are the good, NGOs who are working.
But I would also suggest that you have a selection committee if possible, because what we found in our state, non-Maharashtra, is that the going price was about 50,000. So I would really like that the selection committee, that's what we are fighting for in other states, that a selection committee is formed so that the person chosen is good.
The taluka level committee people are not paid. It's a
No, no,
voluntary work.
I didn't mean that. I meant in selection of the person. The
Yeah.
price for the post.
Yeah, but if they're not paid, why should they be paying for it? It's a voluntary work.
But the DCPUs are paid.
DCPs have already been recruited, and I can tell you that much, that there were 2 sifarishes, one of my minister and one of mine own. Both of them were rejected.
Okay, great. That's fine.
Much too much charging, but yeah.
I'm Shubhada Moitra from Tata Institute of Social Sciences. The juvenile justice homes operate from a principle of correction.
Yeah.
And they have a huge need for mental health work to facilitate correction. And that's one gap that I find in all the homes that we have interacted with,
Yes.
we place our students in. Several years back, at least 2 decades back, we used to have child guidance centers on the campus. So for example, the Umar Khadi home used to have a child guidance center, but not so any longer, the Bhiwandi home. And there are so many homes that do not have a child mental health worker. And I think that is something that,
Okay.
if you could look at.
Yeah, I think I'll make a provision for that, because when I was collector Thane, I had started having a psychiatrist on a regular visit to the Bhiwandi home. But that was a long time back, 95. I think it's been
Yeah.
discontinued.
But besides the
Yeah, but-
psychiatrist, a social worker, psychologist,
all right.
who could work directly
Yeah,
with the kids.
I understand the need.
Yeah.
I'll work on this.
Dr. Nadkarni still goes
Yes,
to
he still
Bhiwandi.
goes there?
Yes.
Oh, good. Yeah, I was forgetting his name. Thanks. Okay. Yeah, one small thing I would also like to tell you, that the state has this Manodhairya scheme. Now, the Manodhairya scheme is not a victim compensation scheme. Please remember this, because this scheme is not after conviction. The scheme envisages that any FIR under the POCSO or under 376, immediately the collector will arrange for the money, compensation money to be given to the, whether the case is proved or not, it doesn't matter. We are the first state to have done this. Yeah. Thank you. Thank you.